Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I am the Gentleman and welcome to another episode of the Gentleman's Pixel Club. This one is a bonus video. This is not a gameplay video, but this is another unboxing nostalgia video where I take you guys through what I've been buying on eBay to rebuild my collection, rebuild my ZX Spectrum collection that I gave away for a stupid amount of money many years ago. So I have all of these parcels that arrived last week. I'm going to have to be very careful not to show my address and obviously not to show the seller's address as well. And I'm going to be taking you through everything that I've bought, everything that I've got down here. What I will also be doing is showing a screenshot of the game, talking about it. There's going to be games and stuff that I don't know what they are, so part of it will be a journey for me as well. But let's go on this little walkthrough. It won't be as long as last time where it took nearly an hour. There's a lot less here this time. But let's see what I've been buying. Let's see how the collection is slowly getting rebuilt. So the first package we have is this one here. Again, taking careful note not to show any addresses or anything, because I don't really want to be doing that. And what have we got? We have got Kwa from Melbourne House. This game, I wasn't 100% familiar with what it was, but I liked the look of the packaging, but something rang a bell in the back of my mind, and I thought, you know what, I'm absolutely going to go for that, can't let that one go. From the same seller, so look where I'm putting things down here, from the same seller we have Heartland. Heartland was a game that I did own that I'm very pleased to get back. You know, not too pleased about the barcode sticker there, but that looks like it's an original one. It just looks a bit messy on the back of the package. But hey ho, another game added to the collection that I have been missing. So the next package is this little one here. Grab some scissors. I do like it when they come well packed in jiffy bags, where you have a seller that takes responsibility for what they're selling, and if they're taking responsibility, hopefully you can guarantee it's pretty much what it says on the package. So this game I'm absolutely over the moon to get. It's the Hobbit, and you think, well, hang on a minute, you've got this before. I missed out on this version of the Hobbit when it was on eBay a little while ago. I never owned this version, but I absolutely wanted that packaging. You may or may not recall, if I don't think I spoke about it, but I had a really good deal some time ago where I basically got a cassette box full of Melbourne House games and very good condition. And this would have just added to it, but this isn't the Hobbit that you may remember. This is the jewel cased version. Now that is a great package to get. Just check the cassette. Yep, cassette looks good as well. So again, very happy to get that. Never ever saw this one released in a jewel case format, but the Hobbit, really pleased to get that one. So keeping the piles neat here. The next one is we have this little package here. Carefully open it up. And this is a game that I've been after for a while, but it's a bit busted, and I knew this one was a bit busted when I was going to get to it, because you can see the damage on the case that you've got there. But I have replacement cases that I can swap this around, and this is The Colour of Magic. This is an adventure game, so again, happy to get this, exactly what I wanted. Has bubble wrap inside as well. Fortunately, they put a case of the game in it, but The Colour of Magic for the ZX Spectrum. Really pleased for that one. Terry Pratchett wrote a good series of books. He's a terrible loss to the world of novelisation and everything else, but I did have the pleasure of meeting him, I think once, maybe twice. And well, actually the first time I met him was in a bookshop where he did a book signing for, I think it was the Malt. Yes, it was Malt. He did a book signing for Malt, so I've got a signed copy of that. And the second time I met him was virtually when I worked for a company called Dell. He actually called up, and I was a tech support guy that actually took his call, and he had a faulty keyboard that I had the pleasure of swapping out for him. So Terry Pratchett, great author, Lost to the World, great game based on one of your books. look forward to having this, and I will give this a go as well. I won't do a video of it because you know what, videos of adventure games are going to be a little bit challenging to do. Plus, I've got the challenge coming up of I'm working through the cassette tapes, as you know, and some of those had adventure games in them. So I think what I'm going to have to do is just load it, make sure it works, just play, you know, 2 or 3 lines of it and not do much else. You know, you cannot make a text adventure very exciting when you're doing a video. You absolutely can't. So the next package is going to be this little one here. So what do we have in the box or the bag? I'm just throwing these things on the floor. I'm going to be tidying up later. And this... Good. So this was one that I owned, and I had this in the past as well, and I saw it on eBay, and I was pondering about this particular game, thinking, do I want it? Do I not want it? I never got into the game that much. I found it a little bit hard, but I want to own it. I want to have it going. If I'm rebuilding the collection, then this is the kind of thing that I have to do. Once in a while, you go for games that are, well, not 100% sure, but you need. And this is That's the Spirit by Edge. So sometimes I'm not looking directly at the camera because I've got the video screen up here. So, you know, the eyes may not always be in the right place for where I'm looking. I do apologise. I'm getting used to, you know, sometimes doing things with video, sometimes doing things with live. And I just caught myself looking at the screen there, so I want to make sure. So the next one is this little package that we've got here. In fact, I'm going to fix the screen. I can't fix the screen for them. I was going to turn off the TV, but I need to have the screen up there to make sure that when I'm holding things up, it shows in the right place. So what's in this? So you're all going to think I'm absolutely nuts with what I've been buying recently, but again, it's all stuff that I own, with the exception of the one that I mentioned that, you know, I wasn't so sure whether I wanted to get, but, you know, a lot of this is stuff that, you know, I really did own, and by the one I wasn't 100% but I wanted to get was, you know, obviously this that we spoke about here. You know, there's been the Hobbit, which I saw on eBay that I missed, that I wanted again. You know, I think this was the only game that I never had, and I got vague memories of this. But this was one that I did have, and this one was a challenge to get. Not for finding it, because it was actually quite easy to find, but trying to remember the name. And when I found the name, I found the game. And this is the Very Big Cave Adventure. I was into my adventure games. I loved my adventure games. And this one was a great one. So pleased to have that. Very good game by, it's actually made by St Bride School, I think. St Bride School. I doubt it came from a school, but hey ho. Nice game to have, pleasure to have. So, lastly, this isn't going to be a long video, as I said. It'll probably take longer to edit and make than what it does when I pull this apart, because I've got to put the screens up of everything that we've got and all the other bits and pieces. Is this box here. This box cost about £20, literally £20. I put in a sniper bid for it. I could not believe that I won it, and there was that, I can't remember of everything apart from one game that was in here, but it had such a lot of stuff in it in terms of bits and pieces that I thought, let's go for this. You know, I didn't want to pay over the top for one particular game, but considering everything that I got, the value for money that I got for this, you know, I absolutely cannot complain. And by value for money, I can't remember 90% of the stuff that's in there, but hey ho, we're going to go through this. So remember, this whole box was £20, and I go back to what I said on my first unboxing nostalgia video. Not everybody on eBay is there to rip you off, and it's absolutely great to pick up bargains like this. So first game is this. Go on, have a guess what you think this is. I recognise the box. For those of you that are unsure, I'm putting my money that this is another version of this. And guess what? I was wrong. This is a HURG. It is a game designer. It's a game designer by Melbourne House. So similar box to the Hobbit, but you know, something that was unexpected. As I say, you know, you don't always get what you expect. Excuse me for 1 sec, so this shows that these are kind of be live what I'm doing. I need to do something with the TV. The TV that I'm looking at, it times out once in a while, so I've got to hit the volume on it a few times to keep the picture from turning off. But yeah, I could make my own games. Will I make my own games? No, I won't. But you know what? This is absolutely excellent condition. You know, really, really well looked after. That will no doubt be fun finding a screenshot to use for the background. So, what do we have next out of the box? We have Graham Gooch's Test Cricket. I don't know whether that's showing up too well. Because of the green screen, any yellows and greens, they go a little bit transparent, but Graham Gooch's Test Cricket. There was actually 2 games that I wanted clearly from this package. I'd forgotten about this one. This is the most excellent Frankenstein. I've done a video on that, but this is a great game. Very, very much like Manic Miner. The mechanics are a little bit different. You can't jump, you can just press space to activate where you activate springs to lift yourself up. But Frankenstein, take a look at that video. If you like Spectrum games, give this one a go. It's a real cracker. So, there's actually quite a bit in this box. This might take a bit longer than what I was planning. So what we have next is the Gold Collection 2 by US Gold. So this has Kung Fu Master, this has Beachhead 2, Pentagram, Bounty Bob, Night Law, Pole Position. Again, as it falls apart on me, it looks very, very good condition. So, the Gold Collection 2. We then have in its original box a Spectrum joystick interface. So, I do collect real hardware as well, and this will go in the real hardware box, but a Cheetah Spectrum joystick interface. What is next? So, this is unexpected. This is a Crash sampler tape. Now, by unexpected, I've got all the Crash magazines, but the ones that I've never really bothered with are the first 5 or so they did, which didn't have proper inlays. I'm a bit OCD, and all the throwaway type tapes, and I know that I'm missing a classic like Batty, which I think came on your Sinclair, but the ones that don't have the proper covers, you know, don't really tickle me too much, so I'm not too bothered about them. But this is a Crash sampler tape. So next we have another box. I already know what this is. It says The Hobbit on the side. I don't know whether that's showing up too well. And inside we have The Hobbit, with all its cards and everything else. So the first one wasn't The Hobbit, but if I'd seen 2 side by side, I've been stumped for, oh, they've sent me 2 versions of The Hobbit, but no, The Hobbit. So this was something that was a curiosity, and a couple of these I'm remembering a little bit about, as we see here. This is Daley Thompson's Decathlon in a plastic case. Opening it up, and we have Daley Thompson's Decathlon with a cassette. Great game, destroyer of many joysticks, way too many joysticks, but great game. So we have next TLL, Tornado Level. This game here, great game. These guys here, they did a sequel to this called Cyclone as well. That was absolutely cracking. You flew a helicopter instead of a plane. I preferred Cyclone over this game, but happy to get this because this replaces the not so great quality copy of this I already have. So this one here was part of the reason why I actually went for this. And I've mentioned already, I'm into adventure games, and this is Foremost Adventures. So on this game here, we have Out of the Shadows, Galaxius, Microman, and the Muriel. I have a copy of this already, which is very, very seriously water damaged by the looks of it. Was not looked after by anybody. And you know what? This copy here, it's okay, I suppose, you know. Doesn't look great, but hey ho, you know, it's better. It's a lot better than what I had. So, next we have an Easter present from Ocean. No idea what this game is, no idea what magazine it came with. Does it say? Yes, it's your Sinclair, and this is Road Race. Excuse me, gammy nose there. Okay, next on the list is Astronaut from Software Projects. Not familiar with that game, look forward to trying that one out. Software Projects, I always did like their labels. They were very, very good at the cassette covers they did. And, you know, this one is no exception. You know, nice dragon there. Puff the Magic Dragon, I think. Right, so next we have a snooker game. No idea what it is. This is Snooker from Visions. Yes, Snooker from Visions. I think I've got this already, but this is a Curry's version of this, so this must have been in a bundle where you get the cheapest looking tapes that you could ever want. You know, every effort gone into producing this. But yeah, Curry's Snooker by Visions. Unbelievable. So I mentioned Batty. This is Batty. Batty was one of the best breakout games you could get, and it was amazingly great quality for being free. So, you know, I've got the tape of it now. And why I have OCD, what I don't like about these kind of things, you know, to be really, really clear, is, you know, look at the quality of that tape. That tape is all ripped up, it's scratched up where the label's been torn. So, you know, it doesn't sit right with me when you have things like this. So, next in the box, and this was a £20 box, remember, we've got another Curry's game. We've got Alchemist by Imagine. This, if I recall, was a wizard game where you could walk around, and there were a few versions of this cassette on by Imagine. They had a gold cassette, normal looking one as well. So, nice to have, nice to own. In fact, we're going to get through all of these Curry's ones, I think, that I can find. There's quite a few of these. Dear God, there's lots of these. So we have Nifty Lifty by Curry's. No, Nifty Lifty by Visions from Curry's. We then have Star Warrior by Visions from Curry's. So they clearly like Visions. Oh no, they've changed now. We've now got Millionaire by Incentive from Curry's. We then have, I have no idea how to pronounce this, I'll give it a go. We have Missile Defense by Anarog for Curry's. Another Visions game, have a guess which it is. I suspect that you would be thinking, if you know your titles, there's probably only 3 left. So you've got Pitman 7, you've got Sheer Panic, and you've got 1994. This one is 1994 by Visions. Cassette just fell apart on me there. Cheap cassette. You know, really cheap looking cassette. And, you know, label of... Actually, the label is really well made. You know, this it's not cheap cardboard, you know, it's a nice cardboard. Pity about the rest of it, but and it's falling apart somewhere in here. So that will just go in a pile. Excuse the racket, excuse the noise. That's there now. So this game was in the other large box that I had. I have now got 3 of these, I think, in total. Can't remember where the other one came from. Oh, it was probably in a bundle with a few bits and pieces. But this is Ace of Aces. This is a nice game to have. Pleased to have this. And I say, all of this was 20 quid. And this is Ghosts and Goblins by Elite. And talking of prices, you know, you have to credit eBay sellers. You have some honest ones. You know, how many sellers, how many times, if you're a collector, have you gone to buy something and the auction's been cancelled at the last minute because the seller doesn't get what they're looking for? And some of these length of auctions, you know, they're a right pain in the neck. They go on for 7 days. And really, what is the point? Nobody really bids 7 days in advance. You might get a token bid that's thrown on or something else like that. But put these auctions on for 3 days, 4 days maximum here to stop the long, elongated waiting that you have. You know, once in a while you'll be bidding for a game and you'll see another version that comes up for buy it now. And, you know, you think, well, I can either cancel my bid, which perhaps I should do, but I don't because I don't want to do that. I consider myself an honest bidder here. You could cancel your bid and go for the buy it now version, which is a little bit more than what you're bidding already, but you're guaranteed to get it. Or you could stay in the fight for it. So these long auctions, you know, you're doing yourself a disservice, I think, at sometimes, because I bet you do get cancellations for this. But hey ho, enough complaining. This was an honest seller that didn't cancel the auction, that was happy to send this for the price it went for. So thank you very much to you. So next game is War by Martech. £1.99 from Virgin according to the label, but War by Martech. And next we have okay, so we have a double cassette here. We've got another Crash Sampler tape, and we have got something called Twister on there. So, had totally forgotten about this one. This is a real Brucey bonus to have in here. Very pleased for this. This is Fred by Quicksilver. I do not own this game, but this is a great fun game. Fred by Quicksilver. You know, I'll probably fire this up later on today once I've tidied all of this mess up that I make in here. These games, when I unbox them, I try to store them right. So if they've got a busted cassette case like this one here for 1994, I'll swap that for another one. I rewind the tapes to try and keep them in much an optimal condition as what you can. And there's going to be a little bit of work to be done once we've done this. So what else have we got here? We have another double cassette. And this has Skyfox from Aurora Soft there, and we have Rambo from Ocean there. With these particular games, when they come in boxes like this, you know, am I going to keep them? Yeah, they'll probably just go in a spare container, and when I do eventually get them, if I get them, and I probably would get the Rambo one at some point, I will then go through and say, right, which is the better version of the cassette that I've got, and keep that. You know, they've got to be complete or not at all. So, 2 more cassettes here that I can find. This is a game that I've not heard of, that I don't think I can even pronounce. But we have Tomb of Cerex. That's probably going on very green and very transparent because of the green screen, but Tomb of Cerex. We then have what every person that owned a Sinclair Spectrum had. The cassette of Pirate Games. So, what did they copy in here? Oh, this is an HFS 960, so this is a 60-minute cassette. What did they copy? We got Ghosts and Goblins, we got Nightshade, we've got Universal Hero, we got Night Law, we got Mooncrester, and we've got no idea what that says there at the bottom. That doesn't matter. So next, and yeah, this was also part of the reason why I was so shocked to get this for 20 quid. I really did not believe this was going to happen. I knew this was in the package. I was after the game that I mentioned, you know, that adventure game. You know, I knew this was in the package, and there was no way that this was ever going to sell for 20 quid based on what was in it. And this is a Curra Microspeech. You know, it's actually there. It physically is there. So I'm sort of looking up at the screen to try and do this. So yep, Current Microspeech there for our glory with the tape. So quick rummage through to see if there's anything else in there. And yes, there is. This is the broken bit of the cassette. So that took a little longer than what I expected, but this is unboxing nostalgia. This is rebuilding a collection. There's been some great Brucey bonuses in there. There's been a few bits and pieces of hardware, and before you will say, look, you bloody idiot, don't you know what you're bidding on? When I bid on these bundles, you know, I don't put much on them. I don't put much money into them because as far as I'm concerned, you know, it's a lottery if you're going to get it, but there's going to be a lot of other stuff that comes with these, like you saw here. To some people, it's a lot of shit. This is probably why it didn't go for a higher price. Who knows? Perhaps I was just very lucky. To me, there's just a couple of games that I'm looking for, and you get a lot of other bits and pieces. You know, with all due respect to... it all fell over there. With all due respect to Ace of Aces, you know, this is not a game that I was actually looking for when it comes to this. But, you know, you find and you get other bits and pieces where, you know, I got Fred as a Brucey bonus. I got the Foremost Adventures that I was looking for here. And, you know, when you have everything else combined, that makes it absolutely supreme value for money. So, shout out to the seller. Thank you very much for doing the honourable thing, for letting the auction to go ahead for especially such a low price where you could have cancelled that on the last minute. You really could. I've now got to not catalogue this lot, but tidy it all up, sort it all out, put it into its little relevant boxes, keep things going, keep things organised, update the list. I also have a list of eBay sellers here of ones that I will do work with again, others that I don't, because, you know, when you buy these games, you can buy games where you get told the quality is absolutely excellent, and when you get it, it's just a shoddy piece of shit. I have brought Cantella, the original one, 3 times now, and every time that I've brought it, the copies have been absolutely awful. I have at least 3 copies of Frank Bruno's box in, trying to get one that the inlays of decent, because this was by Elite, it was a long fold out inlay. The inlays of decent quality, hasn't been written on. You know, you get a bit of damage, but hasn't been damaged to the extent that it is, or folded in places where it's completely unnatural. Kids, children back then, you did not look after your shit, and it's people like me that pay the price now when we have to go and get these by buying things that are not right. Anyway, I'll sign off now. I'm the Gentleman. This is the Gentleman's Pixel Club. This is a bonus video that's going to go up after I finish tidying up all of this, after I've finished editing it, because I need to put pictures up in the background as well and everything else. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. And Christmas is just around the corner, so we've got 3 Christmas videos that are going to be heading towards you. Hope you're going to enjoy those as well, and I will see you soon. Goodbye.
Would you like to play again?
Hello there, just a quick word from me. If you're subscribed to this channel, thank you very much. Honestly, it means the world to me and the world to Harun that I'm holding. Harun would like all of you to be subscribers to this channel. And if you are this far through the video and you haven't subscribed, but you feel that I have earned your subscription through the content that you've seen so far, please consider subscribing. It makes me happy, it makes Harun happy, and when Harun's happy, everybody's happy. Thank you very much. Stay safe, take care. Goodbye.